Hi, everybody. This is Jordan McConnell with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I'm super excited. This is my first in-person episode of the podcast, and I'm super excited to have a very special guest with me today, co-worker and colleague, friend of mine, Anthony Orton. Anthony, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, man. It's a beautiful day out here, man. Just good to get with you and spend some time, talk about some things,
Dope. Well, I'm definitely excited too. And this episode, we've done so many episodes about Crohn's, and so this is a little bit of a different approach. We're going to be talking about kind of working a job, and with IBD. And so I have a 20-year career myself. Anthony is a well accomplished IT person himself, and so we wanted to kind of take you guys on a little bit of a journey on what it's been like, with and without IBD, and trying to tackle IT and stuff. And so first off, Anthony, for people that don't know you, where are you from and what are you about?
Yeah. Like my man Jordan here said, my name is Anthony Orton. You like to be called Tony. We met here at the Cosmopolitan, where we both work in the IT department. I just recently moved out here. I've only been out here for about 6-7 months now. I moved my family out here. I already had family originally out here, so I was coming out to be with them, and I got lucky enough to land a job with the Cosmopolitan, like I said before, man. Meet Jordan, get this opportunity to speak, and give my journey back, give back to the community, IT community, let some people know that it's all right to have failures, to struggle every now and again, but you'll prevail, you'll get through it, and you'll get to where you're supposed to be.
Thanks, man. Awesome. And so I'm curious, so how did you initially get your start, in IT?
Yeah, definitely. So I can take you back to when I first started learning about IT. Really, I took a keyboarding class in high school, but I wasn't really too big on technology. But once I got to college, I kind of needed to see what path I wanted to take. And I was interested in IT, but I wasn't really sure. So my freshman year at Ferrum College, shout out to Ferrum College, I took just a simple operating system class. We basically just took the physical computer apart, put it back together, and then installed an operating system on it. Just basic, and I kind of, I found interest in it. I enjoyed it. So I was like, I could see myself doing this. I could see myself doing this to make money, to provide for my family, I continued down. I got my majors in computer information systems with a minor in business. So graduated, and I really wasn't sure how to really get started. So I ended up just getting a job at Best Buy. Just trying to figure out my path and what I wanted to do. So I was there for about.
Shout out Best Buy.
Yeah, got to. That's where I started. It started from the bottom at all aspects. What I'm saying, but it's all good though. Definitely learned a lot. I met some good people. That I still talk to today at Best Buy. Created some good relationships. But so like I was saying, I was only there for about 6 months.
Okay.
So I left and I became a bank teller at Troutway Federal Credit Union in Virginia.
It's crazy to get that in common.
Yeah. So while I was there, I was a teller, but I got an internship in their IT department. So this is really the beginning. So I did an internship with them. So what I would do is on my off days, I would go in and spend a few hours with them, kind of learn, so swapping out RAM, monitors, mouses, keyboards, simple things, help desk things, So I kind of started with that, and then I actually had got an opportunity at another credit union, AB&B, also in Virginia. So I started there. I was there for about almost a year. So things were going good there. It wasn't a high traffic IT department. I spent a lot of time, doing a lot of research and learning. That's where I did a lot of studying at. So then what ended up happening was where I did my internship at Troutway Federal Credit Union, they had a position open there.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, I know them, I've worked with them, so let me just apply. It's a bigger IT department, it's a better opportunity for me to really grow in the IT realm. So I went ahead and took that job, went back over to Troutway. Now I'm in the IT department. So here doing the same things, a little faster pace, a higher volume of calls, so that made me realize that I didn't want to stay on the help desk. I didn't want to do that for 20 years. So I'm like, all right, this isn't a long-term path. I see now that this is to just get you started. You don't want to stay at the help desk for too long.
Yeah, and for folks that don't know, that's kind of where the vast majority of IT people start their career.
And that's okay.
Yep.
It's a really good thing. You can really learn what path you really want to take, whether it be security, systems, network, management. You learn what you want to do. Just being in the environment. But yeah, so moving forward from there, I got comfortable with my position, and I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to move up. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So at Trotway, they had the network team, which consisted of the network engineer, 2 network engineers, 2 systems engineers, and then a network manager. So they were kind of combined, kind of like how we are at the Cosmo a little bit. So I had applied for the systems administrator position. And I felt like I was gonna get it. I was like, I'm ready to do it. I've been shadowing. I've been watching. Even though I really wanted to get into networking, and this was a systems administrator, it was still just a step up.
It is.
So, unfortunately, I didn't get that position. This was my first time dealing with rejection, as far as something that I really wanted, as far as in my career. So it was a little tough. I kind of had to learn. You still go to work. Not harness those emotions. It's okay to still move forward, but I knew that I didn't want to stay where I was.
Facts. Instead, you decide where your career goes. No one else does.
100%. Yeah. So, like you said, at that point, I made a decision. Like, okay, I got to move forward. So I started applying to a few different places as far as just a network engineer. So I had got offered 2 jobs at the same time, actually.
Good problem to have.
Yes, 100%. So what I did was, definitely took myself through the pros and cons of both jobs. The first job was a network engineer for the Norfolk public school system, where I would just have been going around to different schools, more so desktop engineer job, but it was just titled as a network engineer, which I really didn't understand at first. But then the other job was at a PRA Group. Shout out to PRA Group. They're basically a debt collection company in Norfolk, Virginia, based in Norfolk, Virginia. So they, but they have a bunch of different locations all over the U.S., Europe, Israel, a few other places. So it's a global company. So looking at the 2 jobs, obviously the PRA Group position, it paid a little bit more because there was a little bit more responsibility. Or I could take, the more relaxed, self-paced desktop engineer job. So I really felt like I was ready to become, a true network engineer. So I decided to go with PRA Group. Took the job, I had been doing some studying on my own, studying, had my own routers and switches at home. They created my own labs. Doing small things like creating VLANs, basic configurations, host names, things like that.
Please explain the value of doing that to the audience.
Well, it's
because how that can kind of take the place of almost of having on the job experience.
Yeah. So me personally, I would say that experience is more than certifications. Not that certifications are bad, and I specifically call out certifications because that's normally the debate. Do you need a certification? Do you not? Do you need the experience? But from my personal experience, the experience is what you need.
I would agree. I just got a certification, and that's just kind of to enhance the knowledge that that I already have. But I would definitely say that you need. If you have a certification, people are going to ask, okay, cool, what can you do with it? Show me, demonstrate, and so being able to demonstrate your knowledge is way more important.
100%.
Way more important, than having a piece of paper. That piece of paper, you should only do that when you have experience.
Yes, and to piggyback off of that, I would say, you can have the certification, but once you get into the job, they're going to expect you to know how to do some of these, real world things when you're in these real world situations. And it really benefited me just simply learning how to ping between 2 switches. Yeah. It's small, in hindsight, but
being able to successfully do that is still
that's probably one of the first things you're going to do 9 times out of 10 is just to see if you can reach a device. You know what I'm saying? So just doing small things like that and saying that you've done that just relieves the employer because they don't have to teach you that. Because, IT is a little bit different than, working at, or maybe like a restaurant where you can come in and you're trained and you learn, and in IT you kind of gotta, you know, learn on the go and grow with the company, because what you're doing is important. You probably don't see it a lot, especially early in your career. Early in my career, I didn't really see how much I really affected a business with what I was doing. But as I've grown and made mistakes, you know, I've learned how important, you know, what I do really is.
You know, and we're both fortunate that, you know, what we do right now, both of our jobs have a big impact on the organization. And stuff, which is, it really gives you that kind of that real sense of I don't know, like that real sense of just feeling of value.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, just feeling like you're a value to the organization and stuff. You know,
100%.
And yeah, so again, you know, don't let people slow you down. Don't, you know, like you know, I might speak on my own career a little bit. You know, he started at Best Buy. I started at Pizza Hut. Right? So I started answering the phones at Pizza Hut when I was 16 and stuff. I was a bank teller at U.S. Bank. And Bank of America when I was 18. Joined the military when I was 19. And so as far as IT goes, and when we joined the military, especially boot camp, they you know, based on your aptitude test or whatever they have you take, I did well enough to where they said, okay, choose these jobs. And I was like, okay, I want to do like first, second, and third, right? It was medical, IT. And I got my third choice.
Okay, right.
So, but with that, I got top secret security clearance.
Yeah, that's important.
And so, and I had that for 6 years. And so, and again, for those that don't know, I did 5 years active duty, which is where Crohn's veteran comes from. 5 years active duty, 1 year in the California Air National Guard, and then 2.5 years at the Nebraska National Guard. And so I did. So before IT, I just knew how to do ball papers and stuff like that. And so, but in the military, it was the same thing. Like I did boot camp, and then I went to military school to learn how to do computers. I was in Mississippi for that, and that was when 9/11 happened. So I was in middle school doing that, and but they had my first base in Pope Air Force Base, North Carolina, Fayetteville. I wish to shout out Fayetteville, but you know it's.
No, it's all good.
I'm just kidding. You know, we had some good times out there.
Yeah.
You know, that was a great year out there in North Carolina. So, but my first few years were. I remember, you know, when I got to my first base, my first job, you know, and stuff like, they were like, okay, cool, everything learned in school was worthless, you know, and they're like, okay, well, I want you to go over to, you know, this place to go fix this computer. And they're like, well, what's wrong with it? You know, figure it out. Bring Anthony with you. And then that was it. And so, you know, it was just literally we supported kind of like a Cosmopolitan, 5,000 people. And so it was 5,000 people on the base. We got our cars. We just drive all over base, special forces, construction, security forces, whatever. We you know, base commander, people flipping burgers, whatever. You know, just going out there and just fixing everything,
getting it done,
and learning, you know, that kind of military IT customer service. And so, like, and it's no joke because, you know, unlike working at a casino where it might be like a VP or, you know, a director or something like that, you know, you're dealing with an officer who literally outranks you. And so all that kind of, you know, there's no talking back, you know. Everything is just, you know, my computer's broken. You just say, you know, yes sir, I'll fix it.
Get it done.
Just get it done. And so, but those kind of experiences have taken me to here. You know, to where, you know, I have that kind of, you know, just make it happen. Like, you know, with IT problems now, I'm like, it's not if I'll get it fixed. Yeah. You know, it's how long will it take for me to get it fixed.
Exactly.
So and that's my whole.
What's my deadline?
Exactly. How much time do I got?
Right,
you know,
right.
So that means, you know, how many people I got to call.
Right, exactly.
Right now. But yeah, so now, you know, again, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years, and so this is the first time I've been in a management position. This is the first time I haven't been a technician. It's really fun to be able to just, you know, because I love solving problems. I mean, my job title is solutions architect, and I think it's really, I had no idea what that was to be actually.
Yeah.
To be honest with you guys, I mean, I had heard of like there's something called an enterprise architect in IT. And there's, I guess there's like maybe a network architect, something like that. But a solutions architect that kind of marries business need with IT and kind of puts them together. And so, but also it's in tech right now, it's a lot of solutions architecture is attached to cloud solutions, right? And so there's Amazon Web Services, solutions architects. There's Microsoft Azure, which I'm going for. Solutions architect. I think Google has something similar to that too. So that's what I'm focused on. I think for anybody who wants to get into tech, learning some of these cloud technologies is going to be
100%
very much in your interest.
Get in early.
And just like what Anthony was kind of mentioning about having a home lab, Microsoft, a lot of these places, have free solutions, or on the internet, you can get a virtual router, a virtual, or like a web-based router, a web-based switch that acts the same, but you can configure it and all those things.
I used to use actually a GNS3, which is basically like one of the virtual environments that you were just mentioning, where you can have a bunch of switches, a bunch of routers, connect them together, ping, set up different networks, BGP, different types of routing protocols, and I definitely, that helped me early on in my career definitely as well, because you want to get the physical aspect as well, but you also want to focus on the configuration side as well. So that I would say, I would go 50-50 as a part of actually having a virtual environment and a physical environment, and putting those together, outside of the reading and the videos, but just these two things specifically, it really helped me grow a lot.
Right. Just being able to get your hands on stuff is so important. So how do you I guess challenges, what are some of the challenges that you've had, would you say, in your career so far?
I would say, well, for me personally, just learning the corporate environment is something that's not really talked about as far as in IT, and learning how to communicate to people that maybe they might not have as much, knowledge as far as in IT, and speaking to someone, that has nothing to do with what you do, and explaining the problem, talking them through a problem, trying to help them through, learning the processes and, different environments that different companies will have. Everybody's process is a little bit different. Like coming from PRA to the Cosmo, the process to get things done is totally different. So
a lot of bureaucracy.
Yeah. So outside of the actual technical side of things, I'll say just learning the corporate, the back end, the communication, and how to to get to know the right people that that you're gonna need to depend on to get your job done. So I wouldn't say it's really a problem, but it's just a learning curve for me, because I hadn't really been around it. Nobody's in my family has really been on the corporate side of things, so I had to learn and navigate. But the technical side is the technical side. You learn it, you study, you gain knowledge through experience. That's gonna be there.
But it's those soft skills.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
And that's that's like some of those things you just you're not gonna be taught in a computer science class. So that's why reading is fundamental.
Yeah,
100%. Because many people have walked the corporate path. And succeeded at it. And so I have a lot of that's why I love entrepreneurship so much. I love business development so much. It's just because I want to be kind of the best I can at what I do. And so and I would definitely speaking of that, anybody out there listening, it's really, really important that the military talked about that, the whole person concept. And so just working on kind of all aspects of your career. And so working those soft skills, taking classes, constantly sharpening your skills. IT is one of those things where you always gotta sharpen your knives, like I've been saying recently.
Yeah.
And so
you definitely don't want to fall behind the curve. Whatever whatever avenue of IT, whether it be
systems,
security, networking, you want to know a little bit of everything, but really excel in what you do, what your specialty is, and really sticking, like Jordan was saying, continue to grow in that as well.
And just continue to grow.
And
so have you known anybody? This is a change of gears a little bit, but this is a Crohn show. So do you know anybody in your life that has IBD or colitis or Crohn's or messed up just a jacked up stomach?
Well, actually, now that you say that, my fiance's grandmother actually has Crohn's, and I just recently. It's funny that that's what this show is based around, and I just recently learned about it from her grandmother, not really knowing how it can affect you, and through your day, when you just having issues. So I can definitely understand, like
it's very background. It's very background, I remember saying to myself, like, because especially when I was working like hourly jobs and stuff, like if you don't show up, you don't get paid. Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, am I sick enough to not get paid today? And that so doing also, so that's why I'm happy on my salary.
100%.
But I've it's been tough. Like I've for many years because from the time I was about 28. I've been actively sick, right? Okay. And so, which is 12 years now, almost 13 this year, and so it's been. Oh, because I lost my thought there.
No, you good, man.
But I was gonna. Dang, what's
you were talking about? With it Crohn's, 12 years.
Oh like having that's what I was gonna say. Sorry about that.
No, you good.
And so brain fog also happens with Crohn's.
Yeah.
And so I hid my illness for years. I didn't tell people because, it's kind of like, am I making excuses? It's kind of like, can you do the job or not? And so for many years I would, have stomach aches and, inflammation and all these, horrible things going on, but just trying to hide it from everybody. And, I'd be at, Cox, on the, listening to people like curse me all over their cable and my stomach's hurting and all that kind of stuff. And so I actually got burnt out, I was almost spent like a while kind of burnt out just because I was working my butt off, but like sick as hell type thing. And so that so doing that literally catches up with you. And so
so tell me a little bit, educate me a little bit more on what throughout your day-to-day basis, how does it affect you?
So I've had two for the folks that are are new to the show and don't know my background and stuff. So I've had two major surgeries, right? And so I had a surgery when I was 14 that took out 6 inches of my colon and my appendix. And then when I was 28, I had another after 3 times the emergency room. The fourth time I had 18 inches of my colon taken out and then my ileum taken out. And the ileum is what absorbs the liquid, and when you eat and drink stuff, you drink so you can pass everything normally, right? And so that part's been taken out. So as a result of that, so the surgery fixed this, debilitating pain that I was going through at the time. But as a result of that, I have pretty much permanent diarrhea forever. And so there's this medicine that I take so you want to know how it impacts me? This medicine that I take, this powder called Prevolite, I take it every morning, every night, and definitely forever. And that acts like almost like an emergency brake for my stomach. So with that powder, I can eat healthy food.
Okay.
I can eat non-inflammatory foods or low residue foods or whatever. But without that powder, every 2 to 3 hours, everything goes through me 24 hours a day.
So have you always had that powder, or was that something that came along your journey?
Yeah, so I had the surgery when I was 28, and so I woke up from that surgery not knowing that I could never eat anything ever again. And believing that, because everything that I ate, thinking like, what can I eat? It made me sick. So it was like several years. It made me met my wife. That I was like, so I started going back to the doctors again because I was 100% convinced.
Got you. Okay.
That I was just broken.
Yeah, there was nothing you could do.
Nothing that I could do about it. And so I started going to the doctor, started getting colonoscopies again, started getting all the normal stuff that you're supposed to do when you have IBD and stuff. And so they were like, have you tried? And so they actually put me on Remicade, which is a, you see on the commercials and stuff sometimes it's like it's an IV infusion. So you literally sit for like 2 to 3 hours and have this like an IV bag drain into your arm, and then that's supposed to fix the inflammation in your stomach. And so I was on that for maybe a couple of years, And so the doctors were like, "Wow, Jordan, you should be doing great. You should be doing wow. Your blood looks great, your vitamins look great, everything looks great." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I feel like crap."
And something's not adding up.
And so they're like, "Why?" And so they're like, "Oh, that's because you have bile salt malabsorption, which is what happens when your ileum gets taken out." And so with that, so they gave me this powder. The powder was like the first thing in like several years that actually gave me a quality of life. Literally, part of the reason I'm doing this show, part of the reason I'm sitting here, and part of the reason I have a job, all these good things are happening in my life and stuff is because of that powder and believing that I can be better.
Right.
I don't have to be this sick for it. It's possible for me to gain weight, to be healthy, to because you can't you can't like go swimming, or you can't go to like the mountains, you can't go like on a 4-hour bike ride if everything's running through your body like 2 to 3 hours. Like where you're like just bolting to the bathroom type thing. And so I would say like being able to I have chronic fatigue. I have chronic vitamin deficiencies and stuff like that. So I need to take vitamin D, B12 vitamins, multivitamins on a regular basis. I was actually getting a monthly B12 shot.
Okay.
For a while.
Okay.
Because, and this is a crazy story too, is that I was eating bananas all the time, and then we had gotten like fruit flies or whatever.
right.
Which happens, right?
Right.
So we got fruit flies, and so I was like, so I didn't eat bananas for like a month. And I went to the doctor. They're like, your B12 was low, so we need to start giving you shots.
Right.
So it's ridiculous,
right?
all because of the damn bugs.
Right.
So, but yeah, and so right now, I would say like I'm sick every morning. So like I would say like even with that powder, I have to not only eat perfectly, drink perfectly, but I also have to kind of maintain this kind of Zen mindset at all times, because the stress goes directly to your stomach. So I can take this powder. I can eat something that's very nice to me, alkaline-ish or whatever. But if I'm stressed out, have high anxiety, it won't matter. It'll just still pass. And so that's why my kind of life journey is just to be contentment, happiness, and ambition. Just trying to because every day that I'm not in the hospital, and every day that I'm not in the hospital, walking and talking is a gift. And so I'm taking advantage of that every day.
I mean, and that's beautiful to hear. It's beautiful to hear you share that story and pass this out to anyone that needs to hear it, because that's definitely it could be someone out there that feels alone, that feels like that they're the only ones that that are dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? So to hear you express that and pass that on to someone else, that it should be a great opportunity for someone to grasp and say, I'm gonna be okay. I can get through. You know what I'm saying? There is the other side of the wall.
I mean, there's somebody here that and maintaining a positive attitude. And not saying that life doesn't suck sometimes, because it does. But accepting that just practicing gratitude. Just remembering what's going right, because with Crohn's disease, stomach aches, inflammation, diarrhea, all these cramping and like all these horrible symptoms, it can be very easy to think that you have nothing to be grateful for. And so and the reality is that you do. And so does anybody out there? Just I've been there myself. And so it takes conscious, intentional effort.
Perspective. Perspective. You can change your negative perspective into a positive one. You can virtually get through anything. Facts.
Like there's I remember like a mentor of mine said, be grateful that you have Crohn's disease in the United States. Because there are other countries where having Crohn's disease
is just that.
So yes, I am grateful. And so 100%. And I'm grateful. I've done all these interviews with so many interesting, compelling people all over the world and stuff. And so I'm grateful that I'm able to work. Because there's a lot of people with IBD and Crohn's that just by virtue of their symptoms, it's a no-go. And so being able to do what I do is a blessing. It's a gift. So I'm gonna kind of like kind of just go to the wheels fall off. You know. Just, just kind of do what I can, and so. So one last thing I wanted to cover with you before we get out of here is that you have a passion for entrepreneurship just like as I do, and so I wanted you to speak on where that interest came from. And and if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your project.
Yeah, definitely. So I can attest to really my drive as far as starting the or my entrepreneurial journey would probably be, I'm gonna be real, just wanting to control my own destiny.
Same.
Wanting to control how my day goes, and not have to have someone else dictate, my block or window of life that I have for this day. You know what I'm saying? So really, I want to, be able to fully, in my definition, because everyone has their own definition of how they live life, but I want to live life freely and be able to spend time the way that I want to, while putting in a bunch of work in the background to just simply make sure I take care of my family. That's what I want. That's what I ultimately really want.
Very similar vibe.
I of course everyone would want to have $50 billion, but at the end of the day, as long as I'm taking, at the end of the day, you have to work on it. You still should want to have a financial goal, but I just want to take care of my family. Make sure everybody's good and they can enjoy their life as well. Outside of that, things will come. But just to speak a little bit about the project that we have going on is we have an app that we're building. It's called Tap Me. And it's a centralized space for the customer artist experience, and in the process of deciding that you want to get a tattoo, booking that appointment, speaking to the artist, the communication, what you want, the size, where, and then the payment, going through getting the tattoo and then the payment side of that. So we want to put all that into one place to make a better experience for tattoo artists and their clients, kill all the wasted time, wasted space that you going back and forth for trying to call and waiting for a response, or going through DMs, or going through Cash App, or with all of that centralized one space. You get it done here. You book your appointment, you reach out, talk to your tattoo artist, you arrive at your appointment, you get the job done, and then you pay through the app, all through the app, taken care of, in and out. We want to make money for tattoo artists and save their time. So
that's
Tap
awesome.
Me. Shout out to my guys, Kevin, Dre, Terrence, Blue, Mylan Blueford. We working together to put this project together, and trying to push it forward. So any tattoo artists that have any input, comment, or reach out to Jordan, and we can get you set up, or if you got any questions, and go from there.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you. Well, thank you again, Anthony. For being here, man. It's been really fun. The idea with the show is to do a lot more in-person interviews and stuff like that. Meet people, and because this kind of COVID thing is kind of getting to where we can maybe start doing this a little bit. So it's fun. But for anybody out there that found value in this interview, finds value in Crohn's veteran, please support us. Please subscribe, tell your friends if you know anybody with IBD, Crohn's, colitis, IBS, please reach out to me. I would love to hear your story and share your story. Everybody's story has value, and I want to hear it. And so you can check us out. You can check us out at www.crohnsveteran.com. We have on there. We have our Crohn's Veteran store. You can check that out. You can get awesome merch. We have a YouTube channel. We have we're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. A lot more fun things are going to be coming out this year. Thanks for your support. Thank you, Anthony. And y'all stay safe out there. Much respect.
All right.